Good morning, children. So, the making of the national movement 1870s to 1947, what all happened for the freedom struggle, how they had carried out the national movement in India. Let us discuss, let us see. Introduction of the new laws and administrative institutions. So what there was the introduction of the new laws were there, and administration institutions were set up in our country. Changes in the lives of peasants and the tribals. So peasants means the farmers, and the tribals life got changed. Right, educational changes in the 19th century. We saw that there were Christian missionaries had started the schools, right? So what we saw there was a Western education in India. Next one, debates regarding the condition of the woman. So debates were there, right? According to the condition of the woman, how was woman living in those days? The condition of the woman, for and against it was going on. Challenges to the caste system. So caste system was a big challenge, because there were people were low caste people were treated as the shudras or the untouchables, like that things were there prevailing in the society, right? Social and religious reforms. So many social and religious reforms have been come up in the olden days. That you have seen, social and religious reforms, right? Reform movement was started. We saw the Pratna Samaj, we saw the Brahmo Samaj, we saw what the Ramakrishna mission, like that all the things were started in India. The revolt of 1857 and its aftermath. You have seen 1857 revolt from Delhi to Meerut. You have seen what had all happened in those days. Sipahi Danga is also called it is. Right, the decline of the crafts and growth of the industries. So decline of the crafts in home, whatever they were making, that was declined, and what we saw the growth of the industries, cotton mills, right, silk industry, all started growing in those days, and we saw what big factories, big factory of making the oil, that was started, right? Like this, all the things were started in India. Mining industries were started in India. Now let us see, on the basis of what you have read about these issues, do you think Indians were disconnected with the British rule? If so, how were different groups and classes classified? Let us see the emergence of nationalism. Now there is one good thing happened because of this British rule, the emergence of nationalism. Many patriots we can see in our country, Desha Bhakti, Desha Abhimana, right, that all started during the British period. The above mentioned developments led the people to ask a crucial question: what is this country of India and for whom is it meant? So now people were asking, what is the country of India? Who are the rulers of the India? So that was the question. The answer that gradually emerged was, India was the people of India. India belongs to whom? The people of India only, not to the other people. It belongs to whom? To the India only. All the people, irrespective of class, color, caste, creed, language or gender, and the country, its resources and system were meant for all of them. So all the people who are living in India, all the resources, land, buildings, water, all it is belonging to whom? It is belonging to the Indians, Indian people only. Forest, the land, the what you can see, water, everything belongs to Indians only. With this answer came the awareness that the British were exercising control over the resources of India and lives of its people, and until this control was enabled, India could not be for Indians. So they started exercising the control over India. They started spreading the awareness that the British were that awareness among the people regarding the Britishers were trying to what? Exercise control over the India's resources as well as the lives of the people of the India. They came to know slowly when they got the education. They started questioning for whom the India belongs to, for whom this country belongs to. It belongs to the Indians only. Indians are the citizens of this country, not the Britishers. The consciousness began to be clearly stated by the political associations formed after 1850. So what were there? There were political associations were formed after 1850, especially those that came into being in the 1870s and 1880s. So especially those came into being were 1870s and 1880s. Most of these were led by English educated professionals such as lawyers. So who were these things? Lawyers, English educated professionals like the lawyers. They started the political associations. The more important ones were the Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, the Indian Association, the Madras Mahajan Sabha, the Bombay Presidency Association, and of course the Indian National Congress. So all educational people, all educationalists, all lawyers, they joined what? They made these sabhas: Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, the Indian Association, the Madras Mahajan Sabha, the Bombay Presidency Association. Like this they started making the groups or the associations, and also the Indian National Congress was also one of the association. Note the name Pune Sarvajanik Sabha. The literal meaning of Sarvajanik is of for all the people. Sarva, all, Janik, of the people. So the Sabha was made for all the people. For all the people means for all the Indians to participate in this Sabha, in this meeting. It means Sarva Janak. Janik means here, Sarva means all, Janik means of the people. Though many of these associations functioned in specific parts of the country, their goals were stated as the goals of all the people of India, not those of any one region, community or class. So here the goals of the people was not of only of the people, but the goals of the people, though there were many associations were there and they were functioning in only specific parts of the country, their goals were stated as the goals of all the people of India, not those of any one region, community or class. So goals were of all the people, goals were of all the regions, of all the community and of all the class. They worked with the idea that people should be sovereign. They worked with the idea that what? People should be sovereign. A modern consciousness and a key feature of nationalism should be there in the minds of the people. In other words, they believed that the Indian people should be empowered to take decisions regarding their affairs. So whatever they believed that India should now become empowered so that they can take decisions in the different departments of the country, right? The dissatisfaction with the British rule intensified in the 1870s and 1880s. So here what happened? People were totally dissatisfied by the British rule. Tribal people were also dissatisfied, poor people also, even the zamindars also. In the previous classes I am telling you the story of the same thing. The craft persons were all dissatisfied by the British rule, because what was not there in the British rule? Freedom as well as dignity was not there, was not given. Citizenship rights were not given to the Indian people. They were treated how? Gulamgiri. They were made as the slaves of the British people. So people were not satisfied. People were not at all happy with the British rule. So they started what? Now protests against the British. In the 1870s and 1880s they started the protest against the British rule. The Arms Act was passed in 1878, disallowing Indians from possessing the arms. The Arms Act was passed, means they cannot keep the guns or any of the weapons in their home. In the same year, the Vernacular Press Act was also enacted in an effort to silence those who were critical of the government. So Vernacular Press Act was also passed so that people cannot spread the awareness through newspapers. People are not allowed to tell the truth about the British rule. Right, press was not allowed to tell the truth of the British rule to the people. So only it is to order to make the people silent. By Mutslikke, they had passed one act called Vernacular Press Act. The act allowed the government to confiscate the assets of newspapers, including their printing presses, if the newspapers published anything for or over the attempt by government to introduce the Ilbert Bill. So the act allowed the government to what? To confiscate. Confiscate means to take the kabza ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಂತಲ್ಲ, confiscate the assets of the newspapers, including the printing presses. They were annexing all those things, right? If the newspapers published anything that was found objectionable. So anything, if you are right about the British government, what they were doing, they were taking off all the assets of the newspaper, right? All the assets of that newspapers published, printing press assets, all they used to take it and they used to make it what? Seal down. They used to close the printing press of that newspaper. In 1883, there was a furor over the attempt by the government to introduce the Ilbert Bill. So Ilbert Bill was introduced. Let us see what was this Ilbert Bill. The bill provided for the trial of British or European persons by Indians and sought equality between British and Indian judges in the country. So it was passed to show that both are equal. Indian judges as well as the British judges are equal in the country. But when white opposition forced the government to withdraw the bill, Indians were enraged. So what happened? The white people, means the British people, so said that withdraw this bill. Don't give the Indians equality. Indian judges are not equal to the British judges, like that. So what happened when they told them to withdraw the bill to the British government? Indians got angry on the Britishers. The event highlighted the race attitudes of the British in India. So event, what it did, it highlighted the racial attitudes of the British in India. Racial attitude means they were unhappy with the black people, right? They were treating Indians as the black people. Racial, white people means we are white, we are Aryans, we are of the pure blood, we are more superior to you. Like this they were treating the Indians as inferiors. They were not giving them respect. Dignity was not given, even though Indian judges have done the same qualification as these British judges. But what they used to say that you are inferior to us and we are the superior people. The need for an all India organization of educated Indians had been felt since 1880. So the need for what? All India organization of what? Of educated Indians had been felt since 1880. But the Ilbert Bill controversy deepened this desire. The Indian National Congress was established when 72 delegates from all over the country met at Bombay in December 1885. So the Indian National Congress was formed. How many were the delegates? 72 delegates were there from all over the country, and they met where? At Bombay in December 1885. They had done a meeting in Bombay. 72 delegates from different parts of our country, they had come to Bombay, today's Mumbai, and in December 1885 they had done the meeting, right? Let us see. The early leadership was under the Dadabhai Nauroji, Firoz Shah Mehta, Badruddin Tyabji, W.C. Banerjee, Sundarnath Banerjee, Romesh Chandra Dutt, S. Subramanya Iyer, among others, was largely from Bombay and Calcutta. So these were the leaders, and they took the leadership of the Indian National Congress. Nauroji, a businessman, the publicist, settled in London and for a time member of the British Parliament, guided the younger nationalists. So Nauroji, he was a businessman and he was also a publicist, settled where? In the London. He was settled in London for a time member of the British Parliament. He was a time member of British Parliament also. He guided the younger nationalists of the India. He used to give them guidance how to do the movement, how to start the movement, how to protest against the British and all. He had guided our younger nationalists. A retired British official, A.O. Hume, also played a part in bringing Indians from the various regions together. So A.O. Hume, even though he was a British official, but what he did, he played an important role in bringing Indians from the various regions together. So publicist means someone who publicizes an idea by circulating information, writing reports, speaking at the meetings. So this publicist, this who was he? Nauroji, what he did, he told the public about he circulated the ideas of information by writing, by reports, as well as speaking at the meetings. And he is the Dadabhai Nauroji. You can see his photo here. Nauroji's book Poverty and United Nations British Rule in India offered a scathing criticism of the economic impact of the British rule. So in this book he has written, right, what was the condition or what was the status of the Indians during the British rule. There was poverty everywhere in India because British had come to rule India, but they were ruling in a very unkind manner. They were not, there was a poverty increasing India. They had come to India mainly to loot the wealth of the India, that's all, not to help the Indians but to exploit the Indians. They had come here and they had ruled the India. Who did the Congress seek to speak for? A newspaper, the Indian Mirror, wrote in January 1886, the first National Congress at Bombay is the nucleus of a future Parliament of our country and will lead to the good inconceivable magnitude of our countrymen. So it had increased the Indian Congress seek now who to speak for. They had learnt in this association. Bahaduddin Tyabji addressed the Congress as president in 1887. So Bahaduddin Tyabji, he had become the president of the Congress in the year 1887. This Congress is composed of the representatives not of any one class or community of India, but of all the different communities of India. So this Congress is composed forward of the representatives not of any one class or one community of India, but all of the different communities of India. It was having this Congress. It doesn't mean that there was only one class of communities in the party called Congress, but there were different class of communities were there. A nation in the making. It has often been said that Congress is the first 20 years was moderate in its objectives and methods. Moderate means it was not so much strict, right, regarding its objectives and the methods. During this period, it demanded a greater voice for Indians in the government and in administration. So it has kept a demand during this period. It had kept a demand and it has raised the voice against the British for Indians to get the jobs in the government as well as in the administration. Right, it wanted the legislative councils to be made more representative, given more power and introduced in the provinces where none existed. So what it said that there should be legislative councils for India and that councils to be made more representative. They should be given more representative, should be given more power and introduced the provinces, and he should be given some of the provinces where none existed, where no one was governing there. The legislative council should give what? Representatives. Right, it demanded that Indians be placed in high positions in the government. Now it demanded that the high positions in the government with who has really the merits you should give them. The Indians should be given what? The high positions in the government. For this purpose it called for the civil service examinations to be held in India as well as not just in London. It called for what? Civil service examinations should be held in India as well as not just in London. So civil services exams, whatever the government exams you are taking for the government positions, it should not be held in London, but where it should be held? It should be held in India only. The demand for Indianization of the administration was a part of movement against racism, since most important jobs at that time were monopolized by the white officials. So all the higher positions were with the white people. So that racism was there, and they started the movement against the racism, and they said that there should be Indian officials should work in the higher positions of the administration as well as the government. And the British generally assumed that Indians could not be given positions of responsibility. So responsibility positions, Indians could not be given the positions of the responsibility. See here, how was their thinking, British thinking? They said that we cannot give any responsibility positions to the Indians. Since British officers were sending a major part of their large salaries home, Indianization, it was hoped, would also reduce the drain of wealth to England. So what they were doing, they had put very high salaries for themselves and they were sending it to where? To the England. To their home they were sending these salaries. So by Indianization what will happen? Those salaries will not go to the England, it will not be drained to the England, or it will not be sent to the England. If Indian officials start working in India only, then what will happen? The salaries will go to the Indians. Other demands included the separation of the judiciary from the executive and the repeal of the Arms Act and the freedom of speech and expression. So next what they demanded was that separation of the judiciary. You have to separate the judiciary, the executive. From the executive you have to separate it. From the government it should be separated. And the re-appeal of what? Arms Act. Arms Act, again it should not be there in India. They should be, the weapons of Indians should be given back to the Indians, and the freedom of speech and expression should be there. The press should be given the freedom of speech and expression. The early Congress also raised a number of economic issues. It declared that British rule had led to poverty and famines. So the early Congress also raised a number of economic issues. It said that British rule had led to what? Poverty and famines. Poverty means ಏನಾಯಿತು? ಬಡತನ. ಫೆಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಬರಗಾಲ ಉಂಟಾಯಿತು. ರೈಟ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಬೈ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್? ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಫೆಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ country. Increase in the land revenue had improvised impoverished peasants and zamindars. So because of increase in land revenue, the farmers have become poor in India. The zamindars have become poor in India. And exports of grains to Europe, reduction of revenue cut, right, had created food shortages. So whatever the export of grains, you are doing it to the European countries, what it has done, it has decreased the revenue. Reduction of revenue is there, reduction of income is happening. So because of that what happens? You are sending the food grains to the foreign countries. Because of that what is happening in India? There is a shortage of food for the Indians. The Congress demanded more funds for irrigation. Right, Congress demanded that there should be more funds for irrigation rather than expenditure in military. Right, they were expending, they were doing lot of expenditures in the military cut. Right, they were putting lot of money to increase their military in India. So that they said Now you have to give the money for the irrigation. Irrigation should be improvised in the India. More funds should be given for irrigation. It passed many resolutions on salt tax, treatment of Indian laborers abroad, and the sufferings of the forest dwellers caused by an interfering forest administration. Now they told that you have passed many resolutions. You have put salt also for tax. Right, salt for everything we are using, and it is freely available in the nature. For that also you have put the tax, and that should be removed. Treatment of the Indian laborers, right, you and sufferings of the forest dwellers, and outside the country also there are Indian laborers working, they are also suffering, and interfering in our forest administration also, that all the damages what you have done, that should be what compensated by whom? By the British government. All this shows that despite being a body of the educated elite, the Congress did not talk only on behalf of the professional groups, zamindars or industrialists. Here there were educated people, so they had talk about all the things that were happening in our country, that was being looted by whom? By the British government in our country. It has talked about all the issues, about not only about the professional groups like the zamindars or industrialists, but of the, it had told what are the problems faced by whom? By the poor people of the India, by the common people of the India, by the tribal people of the India. Forest dwellers means tribal people, right? Budukatta Janangadaru who lives in the forest, their problems also they have talked in the before the government. The moderate leaders wanted to develop public awareness about the unjust nature of the British rule. So the public awareness, it started, moderate leaders started making the public aware that they have the nature of the British rule is not proper, it is not good, it is not doing any good things for the India. It is only interested to loot the wealth of the Indians, increase their salary, increase the income in India and send that income to the British government. They published newspapers, wrote articles and showed how British rule was leading to the economic ruin of the country. Right, our industries were closed, and whose industries were started? Only the British industries were started. Indians were forced to purchase the cloth which was produced in the England. People were forced to use the things that were produced in the England. By this what happens? We will see the economic ruin. Our economic growth rate will go below the from positive to negative because of this British rule. And they criticized British rule in their speeches and sent representatives to different parts of the country to mobilize public opinion. So what they did now, they started speaking in the speeches. They had started telling the peoples, right, all these things are happening in the British rule, right. They started criticizing the things which are happening in the British rule. They also sent their representatives to the different parts of the country, and what they did, they had held the speeches and told about how the government is ruining the poor people, middle class people as well as the rich class of our country. They criticized the British rule in their speeches and sent the representatives to different parts of the country to mobilize what? To mobilize the public opinion, to bring the public opinion, to create the awareness among the public regarding the British rule. They felt that the British had respect for ideals of freedom and justice, and so they would accept just demands of Indians. What was necessary, therefore, was to express these demands and make the government aware of the feelings of the Indians. So now they were telling that the English could understand what are our demands and they can fulfill our demands. Therefore, what we have to do, we have to express or we have to put forth these demands from to the government to make the government understand what the feelings of the Indians, the sufferings of the Indians, right. Freedom is our birthright, Yes, every person's birthright it is. Freedom is our birthright. By 1890s, many Indians began to raise questions about the political style of the Congress. In Bengal, Maharashtra and Punjab, leaders such as Bipin Chandra Pal, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Lala Lajpat Rai were beginning to explore more radical objectives and methods. They criticized the moderates for their politics of prayers and emphasized the importance of self-reliance and constructive work. Here, the leaders were not satisfied. In Bengal, Maharashtra and Punjab, leaders such as Bipin Chandra Pal, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Lala Lajpat Rai, here they had got radical objectives and methods. They were not happy with the politics of prayers. Why should we pray before them? Why should we request the British government for everything? Right? Because freedom is our birthright. Why should we put our heads down before the British government? Why we should always pray before them? Because the freedom is our birthright. Then why we should always request them, please do this, please do that? Why we should do like that? Instead of that, we have to go for the self-reliance. We should become self-dependent and we should go for the constructive work. They argued that the people must rely on their own strength and not on good intentions of the government. So it comes everything, we should not depend on the government. We have to stand on our own strength. People must fight for Swaraj. Yes, people must fight for the freedom. It is on your hands to fight for the freedom. Instead of requesting them, we have to fight for the freedom. Tilak raised the slogan, freedom is my birthright and I shall have it. So Tilak, he gave a slogan that freedom is our birthright and I shall have it, right? Who are you to give the freedom? Freedom is our birthright. According to the Tilak, he said that freedom is our birthright. Who are you people to give us the freedom in our country? You are living in India. You are living in our country, and who are you people to give the freedom to us? Freedom is our birthright. You have come here to do the trade and you started conquering all the territories of India, and slowly you have expanded all everywhere throughout the India. So who are you people to give us the freedom? Freedom is our birthright. We are the citizens of India, not you people. Like that he said, and I shall have it, means we will have our freedom. Who are you to give it? So this is the photo of the Bal Gangadhar Tilak ji. Here you can see in 1905 Viceroy Curzon partitioned Bengal. So Viceroy Curzon, he had partitioned the Bengal in 1905. At that time Bengal was the biggest province of British India and included Bihar and some parts of the Orissa. So at that time the Bengal was a separate state in India, where you can see it was a very big one. It was included Bihar and some parts of Orissa also under it. The British argued for dividing Bengal for the reasons of administrative convenience. So British said that we are dividing Bengal because we want to have the administrative convenience, right? For that sake we are dividing it. Whose convenience did it present? Clearly it was closely tied to the interest of the British officials and businessmen. Even so, instead of removing the non-Bengali areas from the province, the government separated the East Bengal and merged it with the Assam. So non-Bengalis it would have separated, that is the Bihar and Orissa. Instead of that, what it did, it made the East Bengal and the West Bengal, and the East Bengal it merged it with the Assam. Perhaps the main British motives were to curtail the influence of Bengali politicians and to split the Bengali people. So when Bengalis they started raising voice against the British, they wanted to stop the influence of the Bengali politicians. So that what they did, they splitted the Bengali people. The partition of Bengal infuriated people all over India. So because of partition of Bengal all over India, people got angry on the British government. All sections of the Congress, the moderates and the radicals as they may be called, opposed it. So all got united. It may be the moderates, it may be the radicals, or it may be the Congress. All got united in India and started opposing the British rule. Started opposing the division of the Bengal, like the East Bengal and the West Bengal. Large public meetings and demonstrations were organized and novel methods of mass protest developed. So they had made meetings all over the India and they started what? My demonstrations. They started the protest against the British. Right, developed. The struggle that unfolded came to be known as the Swadeshi movement. Here, the first struggle for the freedom that they started, it was called as the Swadeshi movement. Strongest in Bengal, but with echoes elsewhere too. In deltaic Andhra, for instance, it was known as the Vande Mataram movement. So in Andhra Pradesh, it heard, the echoes were heard everywhere in the country. So it was started in Bengal as Swadeshi movement. Later it was passed to Andhra Pradesh also, where they started Vande Mataram movement. Right. The Swadeshi movement sought to oppose British rule and encourage the ideas of self-help, Swadeshi enterprise, national education and the use of the Indian languages to fight for Swaraj. Here what they did, the Swadeshi movement, they sought to oppose what? British rule and encourage the ideas of self-help, Swadeshi enterprise, national education and the use of Indian languages. Now they encouraged the ideas of what? Self-help. We should help. Atmanirbhar. Now Narendra Modi ji is telling Atmanirbhar project. Do the things on your own. Produce some things on your own. Create job opportunities for yourself. Don't wait any organization to create the job opportunities. You yourself create some or the jobs for yourself. That is what Narendra Modi is telling now. Don't wait for any private organization or the government organizations to give the jobs. You start your own jobs. You have talents, you have knowledge, right? Then why can't you do some things on your own? Like that, in those days they had given a call for the self-help, Swadeshi enterprises. Start the enterprises, start the factories on your own, national education, start the schools on your own, and use of the Indian languages. They had told, they had promoted the use of Indian languages. Instead of speaking English, you better go for the Indian languages like Hindi, Kannada, Marathi. You start speaking in those languages. To fight for Swaraj, the radicals advocated mass mobilization and boycott of British institutions and the goods. So what people started now to fight for Swaraj, the radicals advocated mass mobilization, means mass of the people were created, more number of people, they formed the group and what they did, they boycotted. I told you, lot of students came out of the British institutions. They said that we will not study in the British institutions, British university we are not going to study, and we are not going to purchase the British goods and services. This is very much important. We should stop purchasing the goods which are made rather than made in India. You have to see where that product is produced. If it is not made in India, don't use those goods and services. Like that, boycotting of the British goods and services started. Some individuals also began to suggest that revolutionary violence would be necessary to overthrow the British rule. So revolutionary violence is necessary. Because why? Because we have to overthrow the British rule now. So let us see. The opening decades of the 20th century were marked by other developments as well. A group of Muslim landlords and Nawabs formed the All India Muslim League at Dhaka in 1906. So all Muslims, group of Muslims, they had come together, All India Muslim League at Dhaka in 1906. It was started. The league supported for the partition of Bengal. It desired separate electorates for Muslims, a demand considered by the government in 1909. So some seats in the councils were also reserved for Muslims who could be elected by Muslims voters. So here what happened, they said that there should be partition of Bengal, they supported it, and they said that separate electorals should be elected, electorates should be elected for the Muslims, and they demanded that considered by government in 1909 there should be separate councils seats reserved for whom? For the Muslims. And who should elect them? Muslim voters only should elect them. This tempted politicians to gather a following by distributing favors to their own religious groups. So here what happened, the British were very much successful in dividing Hindus and Muslims, where the Muslims gathered and they said that they want the favors for what? For their own religious groups. They didn't mind of the Hindus. They said that we want a separate own religious groups. So our favor should be made only for these religious groups. Meanwhile, the Congress split in 1907. The moderates were opposed to the use of boycott. They felt that it involved the use of force. After the split, the Congress came to be dominated by the moderates, with Tilak's followers functioning from outside. So after the split, what happened in 1907? The moderates, they split from the Congress. After that, Tilak was the head of the moderates and he started functioning from outside only. The two groups reunited in December 1915. Next year, the Congress and the Muslim League signed the historic Lucknow Pact and decided to work together for representative government in the country. So later in the December 1915, what happened? The Congress and the Muslim League, they signed what? Historic Lucknow Pact. Historic Lucknow Pact they have signed, and they started and they decided that we will work together for what? For the representative government in the country, to make India free from the British government, and we will all work together, right? So this is the next class. We will deal with the growth of mass nationalism. So thank you, children.